Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Saved by the bell on that one. Saved by the bell. When your clock is out of morning. I actually don't really know the Saved by the Bell.
I don't either. Never liked the show.
Episode 478 of the Massenomics podcast. Recorded live from the corners of the Dakotas by your favorite two Massenomics hosts. Your only two Massenomics hosts, at least for the last 7 or 8 years. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
If you're hoping for someone else to host, you're going to be sadly disappointed again this week for like
another guy with a beard and a guy with wool in his hair. That's all you get.
Is that wool in you? If I was you, I would have wool in my hair.
That's all you
get. This week's episode 478 is brought to you by The Strength Co. We were just talking about The Strength Co. actually in our pre-show. The pre-show is unfiltered, uncut, unrecorded. So if you're not a supporting member, you'll never get to hear what we talked about with The Strength Co. in the pre-show.
You really get the inside look at the fitness industry in the pre-show.
Only for the pre-show. All the greasiest grease comes greasing on out right in the pre-show. But enough about the pre-show. On to the show. The Strength Co., thestrength.co. At least as of right now, the time of recording, they're still running their Memorial Day release.
Hit buttons over here.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, what are we jamming? Memorial Day release at the Strength Co., where they have the Semper Fi Olympic barbell for sale. And every one of those that's purchased, $100 is donated to the Semper Fi Fund. So it goes to a legitimate veteran charity doing cool things. And that Semper Fi barbell, along with, I think, every order while supplies last, includes custom dog tags.
Yeah, I saw that.
If I didn't already have a set of custom dog tags, maybe I would consider getting in on that. But I've already got custom dog tags.
Issued by Uncle Sam.
Yes, yes. I had to
do it the old
do a lot more than buy a barbell, too.
Who'd have thought this whole time if you just would have waited to order things from the Strength Co., you wouldn't have had to join the armed forces, Tanner. You could have saved yourself a lot.
Used to be a proper country where you had to volunteer your half a decade away to get a piece of tin around your neck. Also on the Memorial Day sale, 20% off cast iron pans. I have one of those cast iron pans. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. So much so that maybe I just got to order another one. And then, like I said, the dog tags while supplies last. Check them all out at thestrength.co.
Can you season your cast iron pan by putting another cast iron pan in it? Is that how that works?
That's how you season them. Yes. It's not enough to do anything else. You have to have
actually, you got to put soap between the two layers of them
and let it soak.
Yeah.
You let it soak.
I knew it was something. I knew soap was involved somewhere in there.
Yeah, you got to let it soak.
Yes. Okay. This episode is also brought to you by Barefoot Shoes. Barefoot Shoes. You're asking yourself, what are Barefoot shoes? Well, we'll give you a little clue here. They're barefoot shoes for your feet. They make a lot of different options, ranging from low tops to high tops to boots, available in suede, canvas, and even leather for those boot options. Tanner and I, we really like rocking the Ursus low top. It has the black canvas upper, gum sole. It gives it that classic look, kind of under the covers, not a little subtle, nothing too flashy, but it works in the gym, out of the gym, deadlifting, benching, squatting. You can do it all with it. You can go for a walk even. If you need something with a little more protection, maybe at your job or something like that, you can get a pair of the Bruin boots. Gives you that same barefoot feel, but it is in a boot form factor. And if you're interested in any of those, you can use code Massenomics and save 10% on your next order at barefoot.store, code Massenomics. Save you 10%. Thank you, Barefoot Shoes.
Thanks, Barefoot. Oh, man, we got a lot to talk about this week.
We actually do have a lot in here. I mean, some of these are small, but we do have a lot in here this week.
Yeah, I want to kick off by, we're actually finalizing a couple important aspects of this, but it's likely that there will be a new drop the week that this episode drops. We're looking at June 5th, Thursday. Mm-hmm. There is a chance that could get pushed back 1 week.
We got
relating on-
balls in the air.
Yeah,
There's so many
related-
balls in the air.
Right. There's at least one ball in the air that we don't want to crash and break. It's a glass ball, and we have to catch it delicately and figure out which week it's going to land us on. So possibly the 5th. If not the 5th, we're looking at the 12th. And this drop, there's a couple shirts in this drop. One of them is brand new design, never before seen. It's been seen by a couple. The design-ish has been seen by a couple people that have got a couple sneak peeks on things, but nothing that we've ever printed on anything before. So it's brand new. It's a heck of a cool shirt, actually. This is going to be a very something really cool. The other one is updated take on it actually is a new design, but it's an updated take on something we've done before, I guess is what I would say. A new and improved version. Mm-hmm. And then, then we're like, no surprise. It seems like we're almost like bi-monthly changing the game in drink safety at this point.
I know. That's just what we do.
At a certain point you say, how can you change drink safety?
How can there be anything
farther?
left? But there always is.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that drop, in which that reminds me, horse stall mat coasters restocked as of hours ago. They are literally fresh off the press. I got a freaking 5-gallon pails full of them all over my basement right now. So
I like the behind the scenes, how the sausage is made. I didn't know how they actually did that. That was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, that's on the water jet. I had a video of the water jet going on, and that's how they're cut. Maybe we get a video of how they're printed one time too, and show that off. Yeah. Also, we could probably arrange that. But the horse stall mat coasters are back. They've actually been selling pretty quickly, even just this
They've
evening.
been selling like horse stall mat coasters, so
that pretty much says it all.
Yeah.
So if you do want one, don't wait on the horse stall mat coasters, because those are never a quick restock. As a matter of fact, they just get exceptionally more annoying every time we have to restock it, and I have to go through this process again.
Requires Tanner driving many miles for the delivery and pick up.
And then hand scrubbing way too many pieces of horse stall mat coaster.
Hey, that's what you do for Made in America goods. Like,
I'm
we don't
pretty
make
sure
the
I'm
rules.
gonna
That's just how it works.
Die from inhaling horse stall mat particulates.
It's not microplastics. It's micro
It's
rubbers.
micro rubber. It's like, wow, we're detecting like a percentage of your body is made up of horse stall mat
This
rubber.
man is just part horse stall mat. What's going on here?
That's what we're headed towards. Episode 478. Now with new and improved autofocus on my camera, keeping my eye on the autofocus, and it seems to keep you working here. So we're in for big things. It's
Sharp over
for our
here.
YouTube listeners have been busting the old ball sack on the autofocus getting blurry. So I don't have blurry on here.
Oh,
On my music list.
everything's so blurry.
How about this as a consolation? Do I have this?
Consolation. I mean, that's just the prize right there.
That's what I think when I think about how in focus this video is going to be.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot of focus.
Oh yeah.
Locked in. What do you got? A can over there this week, Tommy?
I do got a can over here this week.
Yeah. What are you drinking? Some of that sipping that scissor.
Just me and my scissor, like always.
I don't eat the pancakes. I just sip the scissor.
I can't think what song it is. What song
I
is
don't
it?
eat the pancakes.
Oh,
I
is that
just sip
Kanye?
the
Kanye
scissor.
West, I think.
Yeah, what song? I don't know what song that is. That looks limey over there. What are you liming
It's
it up?
very limey.
You know what I've got? I don't know if I've had this before or not. It's a
Through the wire.
LaCroix.
There it is, through the wire. Okay. Yeah, what is that? A frickin' flower? Is that
LaCroix
dandelion? LaCroix?
Sunshine.
Okay. They're getting a little LaCroix, you can count on them for keeping it old school. Sunshine.
Let me try. It doesn't taste like what I thought it was going to. I don't like the floral LaCroix all that well traditionally.
Well,
You know?
but it's sunshine. It's not a floral, you know? I get it. There's a
But it's
picture
got a
of
giant flower.
There's a flower on the can, but then the
yeah.
flavor's called sunshine. Come on.
I don't even know what flavor I would classify this as. It's not bad though. I would give this probably a 3.5.
Really?
It's actually quite a bit better than what I
A
thought.
floral flavor at 3.5.
It's not real, but that's the thing. Tastes way more fruity than it does floral. It actually tastes more citrusy than.
Okay. Well, do they have a description on the can? I want to know what the flavor notes are there.
I'd love it if they did. It's naturally essenced, calorie free.
I googled
no
it.
sweeteners, no sodium.
Ready for it?
Oh yeah, what do you got? I want to see if it matches up.
Described as a bright and refreshing blend of citrus and tropical zest.
Yep, that's
Evoke
actually
a
a good
feeling
description.
of a sun-kissed day.
Yeah, so it's not florally. It is much more citrus. So that's what makes it kind of good.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that a little bit. The citrus flavors are on point.
You know what my real emotion I feel is when I try that?
What? It's okay. Remember those ads? It was like, this is your brain on 5 gum, and like it was the craziest shit going on. Like it's like a guy laying in like a speaker, like a pool of like bubbles, and it's LaCroix needs to do that. This is your brain on LaCroix, and then you'll take a sip, and then the crazy bitch song starts playing in the background. This is your brain on LaCroix. Just
you know how old I am? I remember that commercial, This Is Your Brain on Drugs, actually airing on television.
Oh, I forgot about that one. I was thinking of the 5 gum one. Do you remember
No,
that?
I know what you're thinking of, but like that's much newer than like This Is Your Brain, This Is Your Brain on Drugs, and he cracks the eggs in the frying pan.
Yeah.
If you remember watching that on television, you are old.
Do you remember the one, though? I'm pretty sure there's been jokes made about this of like, it's like doing weed isn't cool. And it's like the girl like melted into the couch and she's like all weird. And everyone's like, oh, that looks pretty cool, actually. Like, that looks pretty fun.
I wish I could say I remember that one, but I don't really remember that one. I also don't remember this.
Yeah,
I don't remember this.
Just Google weed couch ad and just watch what comes up. It's like, she's like, it looks like she's like all flattened out.
That does look really familiar, actually, too.
Yeah, I want to remember. It was something like, like I just found the Reddit post. It's like, oh man, I wanted
above
to
the influence. That was like a campaign.
The caption: I wanted to get that high. Been there, feels so good.
It's a bit of a backfire.
Yeah.
Bit of a backfire.
Okay, do you remember? Okay, one other one I just thought of.
Yeah.
The one where they're like, yeah, I'll get 5 cheeseburgers, and then they go order, and then it like shows them again at the drive-thru another day, like, I'll get 10 cheeseburgers, and they go through, and then it's like another day, I'll get 10 cheeseburgers, and then that time there's like a girl riding her bike through the drive-thru, and they hit the girl on her bike, and like the commercial ends. Again, I mean, it's messed up, but sometimes the presentation of these, the delivery was.
I don't like
off.
those commercials like that. Real downers for me. Real vibe. Really kills the vibe. Don't care for those. Okay. So good cans, good drinks. We talked about the new drop, or at least alluded to some things that are coming there. I actually got to know about this right away. I meant to ask about it last week, and I'm moving it to the very top of the list because I can't go another second without hearing about what the heck is going on with the Chevy Malibu. Don't give us the bad news.
Well,
don't do it.
I guess I'll start with the good news is it's in a better place now.
No.
It's in a place where someone else can enjoy it.
No.
I will say this. If I could open a business selling Chevy Malibus, I would be a very rich man because
Did you have no trouble selling it? Just like what we assumed?
It was last Friday. I'm like, you know what? Because I've been dragging my feet on it. Just have had a lot of shit going on. And it was last Friday.
With everything going on.
I was at Disney till Thursday. Got home Friday morning, just took care of the bare minimums. And I'm like, I'm not going to start anything Friday afternoon here. Like I got 4 hours left. I gotta just get this week over with. I'm like, you know what? I'll go wash my car. I'll give it kind of my quick superficial detail that I do.
Yeah.
I'll get it cleaned up. I'll go take some photos of it, and I'll get this posted. So I go give it one final hand washing. Go to the car wash where you wash it yourself, where you can really give it the TLC it needs.
Just to really get intimate with it one last time.
I got the car seats out of it. Got all of the fruit snacks that had been smashed into the crevices removed. All the granola crumbs and bites everywhere were
You got
gone.
it so clean and immaculate that after then you're like, do I really
Dude,
want
I
to get
did.
rid of this
I have a
thing?
little detail kit.
Like,
I got it out. I cleaned
how
up the
nice
leather
this
and the
looks
bad
now.
spots. Yeah, I wiped everything down, and inside was looking pretty fresh. Got the outside looking extra fresh because it looked so good after I washed it up. And then I had my boy with me, and like, all right, we'll go to I need to find a neutral backdrop. So we take it to one of the parks in town. Luckily, there was no one in the parking lot. Kind of a, somewhat neutral nature background. I take some photos of it. Get that part done. I come home. It's 5 o'clock. I use ChatGPT. Obviously,
You said it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah. I feed in ChatGPT. ChatGPT, I'm selling my 2009 Malibu. It's been one owner. I give it all the details.
Give me the sales pitch.
Yep, it creates the highlights for me. There's a couple details I got wrong. I had to have it spruce up a few things for me, and I posted it probably, I don't know, it might have got posted at like 5:30 or 6. And while we were podcasting that night, someone reached out. That's why it was towards the end of the podcast. I saw the message come in, and I was very taken by it. It was like 9 o'clock, and it was the first message I got, and it said,
like,
"We
I
are
want it right now.
We are
Don't let
seriously
anyone else
interested
buy it."
in this. Can my husband come look at it tomorrow morning?" I said, "Yep, just let me know." Like as soon as we got done podcasting.
Yeah.
And in the morning, I was starting to have other people ask me about it, and so this first person, because these other people were asking questions, and which is fine. But this first
You're like,
person
I
was
ain't
like,
got time for no friggin' questions.
so I'm like, "Hey, are you coming?
Take it or leave it."
Right? Like, you coming to look at this thing?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm at work. I'll tell my husband to come right away." And so he shows up. We hop in the car. We go down probably 2 miles. I'm kind of giving him the full rundown on everything, letting him know of any known issues or flaws with the car, what I like about it, what I don't.
Giving him the buddy caps, known issues.
I was giving it all to him, and we were probably 3 minutes into the car ride, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll do this. Like, oh, well, that was easy.
Yeah.
And so we got out of the car, and he goes, because it was Saturday morning, he's like, "Well, I guess it's a holiday weekend, so we need to wait till Tuesday." I'm like, "Oh, no. It's not noon yet. The banks are still open, man."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, well, let's go then." So we went right to the bank. Literally, we both went to Wells Fargo. He got the cashier's check. I gave them the cashier's check, just like that.
You went with him to the bank?
Yeah,
or
I
what?
just met him there. Like I went with him there.
Oh, you didn't ride together in the Malibu?
No, we didn't ride together.
That would've
'cause
been weird.
Yeah, he had people picking him up, and obviously my wife I had to have a ride
So
back.
you brought the Malibu to the bank.
I brought the Malibu to the bank. He was driving there. He had actually got the cashier's check just ahead of me, but then I walked in, and they're like, "Oh, we're giving it back, huh?" I'm like, "Yep." Because I also bank at Wells Fargo, and I had the title in hand, did the little sign off on everything, and gave it to him, and away they went. And counting the time I spent cleaning the car and making the posts and everything, I maybe had 2 to 3 hours of work into it. And
so did you respond to anyone else, or did you just
I answered questions for other people. Like they were asking me questions about it, and someone said they actually did want to come look at it. And I said, "Hey, I have someone coming like in the next 30 minutes here." I said, "If nothing happens of that, you're next on the list and I'll tell you." But, so on the flip side of this, you look at, all right, I invested 2 to 3 hours of my time. How did it all pan out? Well, when I went to go buy my car a month ago,
what were they going to give you? How
my
much
trade-in
more?
value on it was going to be $3,200, which actually surprised me. That was more than I thought they would give me on trade-in. Now, if you look at, okay, how did I price this thing? All right, you do Kelley Blue Book and you fill it out. And it's also Kelley Blue Book is not like the end all be all. Like it's just a suggestion, but it's asking you the condition. Well, I would like to, is it very good, excellent? I'm like, as far as Malibus go from 2009, I would think this is excellent. In the scheme of things, though, is this an excellent car? Probably not, because it's also a car that's 16 years old.
Yeah.
But like the Kelley Blue Book range was coming somewhere between like 55 and 62, just depending on how you looked at it. But, that seemed totally fair to me. I would have been very happy with that. But then what really threw it for a loop is if you look at comparables in the area, and I could not find this car. I mean, we're in Chevy country here, like there's Malibus around. I could not find one for less than like $8,000 that didn't look like garbage. Yeah. And I'm like, it just feels like that number should be higher than like kind of the 6,000 Kelley Blue Book is suggesting. Like even they were saying like on the mid-tier would be low fives. So like really actually they were giving anywhere from range from 5 to 62. And so I ended up listing it at 6,600, thinking like, hey,
didn't want to go 69. Huh?
nah, I didn't go 69. And I thought, you know what?
Would've
As
been nice.
long as I'm over 6, I'm very happy with it. And also, part of buying a car is people always want to negotiate a little bit, right? Isn't that the fun of the
right.
deal? You got to
That's-
price it with
yep.
some room for that. And so we got out of the car, and the guy goes, do you got any wiggle room? I'm like, I don't know. What do you think? And he goes, 6,000. I go, I'll meet you in the middle at 63. He's like, deal, done. And he's happy, and I'm happy. And their daughter in high school has a new car, and
That's what I wanted to know, what the use for the car was.
Yeah, it was going to a
be,
daughter, and
yeah.
she was hyped on it. She thought it was so cool, you know.
She's
and-
already got in an accident with it. Fender bender's already been accomplished.
One of my cars in high school, I had a Chevy Monte Carlo in high school, and I thought it was a nice one. I thought it was good, and I got a different car. My dad sold it to one of our family friends. I think they had the car a month before someone rear-ended it and totaled the damn thing. So, anyways, though, with the Malibu, my point is I put about 3 hours of work in. I made a little over $3,000 versus what the dealership was going to give me. So what I'm saying is, if you have a car that's worth less than $10,000, don't be afraid to put that thing on Marketplace.
Yeah. Almost any vehicle, though, on Marketplace. Like,
I mean, yeah, it depends on, if your vehicle's trashed and like bad.
right.
But at the
right.
same time, like,
even then, you'll still get more on
if you
Marketplace
just go
than
in
you would
with
on
a
trade-in.
realistic,
Right.
idea.
I mean, it's going to not be great value, but you're going to get more than you would on a trade-in.
Actually, my youngest brother, his girlfriend, like just bought a new car, and she was driving like a 2002 Trailblazer with like 180 or 190,000 miles. Like, just based on those, you're like, yeah, that car's probably worth nothing,
Right.
like on those numbers. And I think when she went to trade in, it was one of those things where the dealership was going to give her like a couple $100 for it. It was basically the disposal. It's like, yeah, we're taking care of this for you. But they did the same thing, put it on Marketplace, and it took them like a week or two, but they had a guy, I think they bought it for like $2,600. And he's just like, oh yeah, I just need an old beater. I know how to work on these things. And like, for someone like that, it's perfect,
Right. I was using ChatGPT to do some vehicle valuation for me, just like yesterday or the day before.
I had them help me with ask them for comps on
Yeah.
mine, and they were giving me like 3,500 to 4,500. Like, they were way off.
That's I was asking for comps too. I'm like, find comparables for sale, and then I'm like, these are all like I know this is what I'm saying. I'm like, these are all like double or triple the miles. Find a comparable. And then it did a little bit better job. I'm like, this has like 50,000 more miles. Like, find a comparable.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm like, wouldn't mine be worth more? It only has 58,000 miles, not 125,000. And like, it was eventually coming around to that, but it didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like it was, but it took a lot of like me like
Really
checking
poking
the
it.
work and you know.
That's one where I think it is easier just to like pull up cars.com and just do
Yeah.
a big search of like a 200-mile area, and you can get a pretty good feel for what's out there in a hurry.
I think so. Do you explained one time about a Instagram post about a guy on a elevator, and it was a really awkward conversation.
Oh, that
who was that?
Bren.
Okay, that's different. So, do you know who Johnny Hamcheck is?
No, I saw you put this in here. I've never heard of it. I don't know what that means.
It's I've seen a couple of his videos before, and
This
I watched
is an
a few of
Instagram
them.
account?
Yeah, an Instagram account, probably TikTok too. And it's a rabbit hole I've went down this past week where I probably watched like 50 of his videos. And I don't even know if it's good at this time, but I'm just like semi addicted to watching them. And it's this guy. For anyone that's seen it, don't even worry about my explanation. Fast forward 3 minutes, you don't have to hear it because I don't even know how to explain it. But it's this guy, you never see his face.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
I'm just looking at the video, so I can't hear him.
Yeah, you got to hear it. It's all
Okay.
audio. It's all the dialogue that he's having. What he typically does, he has about 3 or 4 things he does. The most commonly, he'll go up to some job site, some guys in some neon vests at any kind of job site, and be like, he'll start off usually like, "Hey, fucker," like what you'd say to somebody that your buddies
Okay,
with.
I think maybe I
And
have
he's
heard
like-
this maybe one of
and
these
he's like,
before then.
Yeah, Balboni sent me. And he has these recurring names that he
Yeah.
always goes to. And he's like, Balboni sent me. He's like, you guys needed the 6.5 foot chains. I brought them here. And he's usually got these chains sitting in
I
his
do see one
passenger
here
seat
with
of his
chains here. Yeah.
And it's always a little different, but it kind of always goes back to the same thing. He's like, did you hear about Mike at the barbecue? He got decked in the side of the head, and he got this welt like one of the Looney Tunes, and the gist of it is he's talking to these people like he knows them.
Right. Just saying
And
the most
often
random,
and
dumb
you can
shit.
just see how caught off guard they are, and the varying levels of sometimes people just straight up going along with it. Like obviously, and he'll be like, "You remember me, don't you?" And he'll be like, yeah, of course. I remember you. And then he'll be like, "What's my name?" And they're like, "Oh, shoot, I can't remember it." And, just like all this stuff. And sometimes people don't know him, and he goes into this, or he'll walk up to like outdoor yoga and he'd be like, "Oh, sorry, I'm late." And then he goes into this, like, anyways, I don't know why, but it's really, really funny to me. It's like hilarious.
Oh,
to me.
I think I'm definitely gonna. I hit follow here. I'm definitely gonna watch some of these. I think I've seen. I'm pretty sure Ryan sent me one of these because of the job site one you were talking about, where it's like, "Hey, fuckers," like, going on about it. Like that does sound very familiar, and I'm looking through, but it's hard because it's just a random ass person is all you're seeing. You know,
goes up to a guy in a department store. He does this a lot, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you old piece of shit." It's just stuff like that. And like it gets people laughing, and then you can tell a lot of times the people think that they should know who he is, or that they have
so
to
they're
know.
thinking
And,
hard.
yeah, and it's really funny. But he is famous enough that occasionally people know who he is.
Oh, so yeah, it doesn't
Too, and it
work
kind of
then.
screws it all up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's the one account that I've just been. I mean, it gets played out after you've seen it enough, but for whatever reason, it's still funny to me every time. Where I'm just like, I just have to watch to see what the people are going to do, and I just love the way he does it, especially on the job site ones. And I'm like, this is so painfully accurate of the conversation. Like, and the people think he knows them because it's just like that
go
is
into any
exactly
small
the
town bar and like that's like the small talk that's taking place of like this like kind of passive aggressive like chirping at everyone.
The other one that I really like, what is the name? Narcs. Have you ever seen this? I don't like it near as well as Johnny Hamchek, but actually I don't even know if I like it, but I got down a rabbit hole that I couldn't stop watching it. It's Narcs, where it's this guy, he goes around to parking lots and confronts people that don't put their carts away.
Okay, I'm seeing it here.
And he like legitimately confronts these people all the time and like won't let them get away with just walking away. And if they walk away, he has all these magnets that say, I'm like, one of them says like, "I'm a lazy bones."
Like he puts a magnet on their car? Or?
Yeah, if they won't come out, then he'll set a magnet on their car that says like, "I'm a big lazy bones," something like that. And then they get out of the car, they're all pissed, of course, and they take it off and they throw it at him. And then he like has this little wand because he's the cart narc, he's like wearing a vest and it's like his job. And they're always like, "What authority do you have?" And then they'll throw it at him and he'll like whap it away with his wand and he'll be like, "I deflected your attack." And he just gets people really pissed. And then they'll be like, "I swear to God, if you put one more thing on my vehicle, I am going to beat the shit out of you." And then he'll like fake put something on their vehicle. So then they get out again, like about ready to throw punches. And he'd be like, "Oh, got you with the classic fake out." And like all he really wants them to do is put their carts away.
Yeah.
He is building this channel on like these confrontations with people, but it is also people that don't ever put their cart away, and I'm kind of like, put your cart away.
Yeah, just don't be a lazy piece of shit.
It's kind of, there is a thing there where I'm like, and the number of people that won't just put the cart away, that will fight it to the bitter end.
Yes. Well, it's the same thing of like, well, now that you've told me to do something, I can't do it because now I'm going to look weak. So, got to stand your ground even harder.
That's exactly what it is. And I'm just like, just put the cart away.
It's the same thing as the lady that took your seat and, and just insisted. Like there was no way she could be wrong because like she just can't look wrong,
And here's what I'd say. In my life, I have before at time, I usually almost always put the cart away. There has been situations where I have not put a cart away. If someone confronted me like that, I'd be like, "You're right. Yeah, you're right. I'll put it away." I usually do it. Whatever reason, I thought I was in a rush. I basically always put my cart away, but it's happened a few times in it. I do watch, and I think if I got caught, I would just put my cart away. I'd be like, "Yep."
I'm sure there's been times, there probably has been a time I haven't. I cannot think off the top of my head a time I have not put the cart away though. But I'm not perfect.
I really can't think
I probably
of any.
have messed up.
Right.
But I can't, I always do it. Like I always do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The Instagram account, the one that I like a lot is that it's Infra. And he just gets people in the elevator usually a lot of times, and he sings so awkwardly to them or makes like really dumb jokes to them. And he does the same thing of like, you know, he'll see some random person like, hey, there you son of a gun, you know, say something stupid like that. And then again, talk to them like he knows them. And usually it's something very awkward, or he'll go into like a Applebee's and he'll order like a tall glass of Alfredo.
Right.
With
that's
like,
right.
with
Now I
like a
remember
shot
that.
of,
Yeah.
I can't even remember like the one he goes to Apple and he brings out a picture of Shrek and he's like being the weirdest person he possibly can. And but then at times
it's
like
kind of on the line of Johnny Hamchuck.
Yes,
a little bit
it's a very similar vibe
yeah.
to that, except this guy comes off maybe a little more innocent than
Right.
the ones where you're just like, I don't know, maybe this guy's just really strange, but incredibly awkward if you're not into that type of humor. Like Leah, when I show it to my wife, she's like, I can't, like, it's like hurting her. She's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. No.
Yeah. Okay. Should we do supporting our supporting members?
Yes.
That would have been better had I prepared supporting our supporting members for this week. So let me go a little off the cuff. I see Big Bryce has been popping out more YouTube videos on his channel, so that's Perfect Little Sweetie's Gym on YouTube. Big Matt, that's his Big Dutch Matt, and Big Liz, both crew, they got married. I think this was just today.
Did they know this was coming? Was it a surprise?
They must surprise wedding.
They
so
just woke
I would
up
say
and got married one day.
Yeah, congrats on the funeral. There's some good funeral emojis on his post in there, actually. So I like that people know the vibe there. Bunch of people winning, bunch of crew members winning in the garage gym competition giveaway stuff.
Yeah.
I saw several crew members getting in on the action. So you do love to see that, don't you?
You do. Yep. Keep it in the family, we say.
Yeah, keeping it in the family. I like Big Buck was at Elite FTS, and he did snake a picture of the Massenomics horse stall mat coaster on the table. So
nice.
it's still there. So you do love to see that.
It's like how you know Massenomics was there.
Yep.
Leaving our mark all over.
It's our calling card, so to speak. Isn't it?
We're like the wet bandits.
Yeah. And that's about it for this week, supporting our supporting members. For anyone that doesn't know, it's a relatively new segment. We're on a shorter turnaround for the podcast this week because we recorded on Friday
It's
last
actually
week.
only been
this week.
a few days.
Yeah, it's only it
has not.
Wait.
Oh, he's
I'm
looking
all
for
thrown
it.
off here.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
1 week minus a few days.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Subjectively a while.
It's sort of been not that long
Like,
staying, but
To my son, yeah, we it's been a while, but to me,
been
I'm like,
forever.
Yeah.
Just seconds could be forever
Oh yes.
when you're young enough. But you could get on supporting our supporting members by becoming a supporting member. It's just one of the ways we give back. You go to massenomics.com/join. That's where you go to join up. What we do is, this is one thing. The other thing is there's a discount code that's only for supporting members. That's in our Discord. It's how you get in the Discord. It's the only way you get on our Discord is by becoming a supporting member. You can listen to our pre-show. It's unfiltered, unrecorded, uncut, extra grease. We record that each week. Well, we don't record that. We host that each week prior to the main recording. Only way you get that is by being a supporting member. It's the only way you can listen along live, like we have live listeners right now. You get access and info to drops. You get to access early to take advantage of the drops. And our crew supporting member mailers. It's the only way you get on those. And we've talked about it. I think we brought it up last week. We do have one of those coming up. What that is we mail something special out to everyone that's an active supporting member at that point in time. We try to do a couple of them a year, and we've got a big one coming up in the summer of 2025. I don't want to put the cart before the cart before the horse on this one yet, but I do think it might be our most well-received supporting member perk ever passed out. I'm very excited about it.
It's going to be good.
We still have wheels in motion on this, but we'll get to a finish line at some point on it. There will be a line in the sand. So the takeaway from that is just get signed up now. so you know for sure that you'll get in on it. The surefire way to get in on it is get signed up now and don't let your membership expire between now and then. Should we do a certified training facility?
Yeah, I was just trying to think. Where do we want to go this time?
Let's go
To the
Lukenbach,
YMCA.
Texas, with Waylon and Willie and the boys. Should we do a South Dakota one? We've never done a South Dakota
Oh, we
one.
haven't done a South Dakota. We just done North Dakota?
I think just North Dakota.
Okay.
Do we have a South Dakota one?
That we have not done a video on that also has photos.
Pictures. I think we can accomplish that, right? With the tricky part is there we've done a lot of what about Rapid City? We got
West
something
River?
there. Yeah. It's
Oh.
mostly South Dakota.
Are we looking at Chris's gym? LLDBA the bar? LLC
Yeah, what
DBA the bar?
What's the gym name again, did you say?
Chris's
Gym LLC doing business as the bar. Okay.
If there's one thing I can appreciate, it's a proper business structure.
He's got us going right off the start there.
I'm dealing with a professional here.
Yeah. And this is out in Rapid City. Is this our lone West River
I think
certified
it
training
is.
facility?
Hey, we're okay. It's slightly off topic here, but weren't we just talking? Was it in?
Yes, we have a pier.
Was it in? When we were in Ohio, were we saying we didn't have any Wyoming certified training facilities?
I think so, but that one did fill up.
Yeah, we got 2 now.
I think what we're missing is Vermont and New Mexico.
Mm.
New Mexico for sure.
Yep, I'm looking at
Vermont
that
I
right
have
now.
to zoom in on. We got someone right on the border.
Wait, do we have
Of
Maine or what's this?
No,
Nope.
Maine.
I think Maine's missing. We have New
Maine,
Hampshire.
Vermont, and New Mexico. Because I don't think any of these ones are in Vermont. They're very close, but yep.
Yeah, they are very close.
Maine, Vermont, and New Mexico. If you are a listener from one of those states and you have a home gym, why have you not become a certified training facility?
Hey, we'll say right now, if you're in one of those 3 states and you sign up, you will be the certified training facility next week.
We'll do it. That's a
our
deal.
promise to you.
Yes, if you sign up from one of those 3 states,
You're fast tracking the line here. That's your lightning
Yeah.
lane. You're going right to the front.
that's the lightning lane at Disney World.
So you can have your 5 seconds of fame on the Massenomics podcast.
So what do you see in Big Chris's,
Well, right away,
the bar?
just the wall decorations are top notch. He's got a lift
Yeah.
flag, a lift ship flag, a powerlifting flag, obviously a certified training facility flag.
Yep.
So those things are looking good.
He's got a stroller too. He's also got that trampoline with the bar across it that you probably also do. You also have that trampoline?
Oh God, yes, we do. The black rubber has been like chewed on and ripped up,
Yeah.
so it's barely there.
Yeah, we've all got that trampoline, don't we?
Yep, got a couple gas cans too. That's always good to have.
Yep. He has that looks like the spin bike out of Massenomics gym, honestly.
yes,
right there.
yeah, okay. I was wondering why that looks so familiar because I don't have a spin bike. That looks exactly like that one. Yes.
And to the right of that is it's a full deadlift jack. Looks like maybe like the Titan deadlift jack or something like that.
And just to the right of that, you can see the curl bar fairy had made a visit.
Of course, is probably there right when he moved in, I would assume.
We got a weight tree with some plates. We got also
Are those the everyday plates on the bottom? Is that what they're called?
They might be. It kind of looks like it. And then, he's got kind of like what would you call it? Like a wall, like an upright wall
vertical
mounted.
plate storage.
Yeah, vertical plate storage there too. I see we got some adjustable dumbbells off to the side, some plate loaded adjustable ones. I can't tell if those are 1-inch or Olympic handles.
I'm kind of an expert on those at this point in time.
I've been around a few. And then we have the rack, the centerpiece. I'm not totally sure what rack it is. It kind of looks like a rep flat bench. I think that is a rep flat bench.
That looks like a rep, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think because it's got that little loop in the front. I'm pretty sure you can almost see the words rep there. It's got to be something like that.
It's got 2 barbells because there's one in the rack. And there's also one leaning
propped
in the
up against the
corner.
wall. Do we got, is that two electric heaters up top there?
I was going to ask you what you think that's going on
That
there.
looks
That's
like
what I would
2
say.
electric heaters to me, which shows that
Oops.
likes to stay comfortable.
So this is a garage.
Probably.
I'm going to say.
Probably.
It's a concrete floor. I suppose it could be a basement.
Could be a bedroom, maybe.
It could be. What? This is toolbox and stuff. This is garage for sure. Yeah.
Should just like to do a lot of projects in his house and made it's a project room.
Yeah. Well, as I start to look at it more, I just start to wonder, Tommy, do you think you could get strong here?
Oh, yes, you could definitely get strong there.
Oh, hell yeah. We can get strong as shit in there. Absolutely. I think so. Excellent certified training facility of the week right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right here. We had 2 corners of the Dakotas covered. We had to get one more, the southwest corner.
Yep, that's right. Big Chris making it happen.
At the bar. Just another day. Just another Wednesday night at the bar, am I right?
Exactly.
All right. Should I read an ad while we boot off some live listeners before we get to our title topic? Our title topic is going to be powerlifting myths analyzed. That's a working title topic, but
yeah, we're still working on that. We got a few days figured out. All right, that sounds good to me.
Okay. So just writing down that certified training facility. Okay. So this week's episode is brought to you by BuildFast Formula. Check them out at buildfastformula.com. There are friends right here also in South Dakota. This is like a very South Dakota heavy show right here. They're in Watertown. The Thomases own, operate, run that company. They're friends of ours. They make products that we know, that we like, that we trust. We use them ourselves. We're users of their supplements, particularly Vaso Blitz is their nitric oxide, no caffeine pre-workout. Full Blitz, which is their fully loaded caffeinated pre-workout formula, and then their 80-20 protein. We often talk about various flavors that we like of the 80-20 protein, but it is always hard to beat their chocolate lava cake. You can use discount code Massenomics at BuildFast Formula. That'll save 10% on every order there. And if you order, I think it's over $100 or more, you get free shipping. So check them out at buildfastformula.com. Did you give all those people the boot?
They're out of here.
The greasy old boot? Oh, thankfully. All right, now should we dive into powerlifting myths?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we doing here on this powerlifting
Wait,
myths?
is this the title topic? Because we didn't have the proper intro.
Wait a second. I think you are on to something.
There we go.
Feels a little better, doesn't it?
Yes. Now I'm ready to go.
Okay. So what are we doing on powerlifting myths here?
We're kicking it old school. We're going back to our roots. We're talking training, talking lifting over up in here. And we are going to dissect, analyze, and discuss some powerlifting myths. Some of these maybe you've heard, some of them you maybe haven't heard. But we're going to talk through these and see, are they true? Are they false? Maybe it's a little bit of both. Who knows?
We'll find out. So we kind of used a list that we ran down, and some of these we might agree with a lot, and some of them we might say, we don't even really think that's a myth anymore. So we'll go down the list. So number 1 here, you have to be fat to be strong. The classic power belly myth. Yes, mass moves mass, but so does technique, leverages, and programming. Here's a joke. I'm not fat. I'm just bulking year round.
Say that and your friends you go, oh my God, that's so funny.
That is not a good joke. Okay, so you have to be fat to be strong. I mean, that's obviously not true. Like,
no, and I think perception around this has changed a lot in like the last 10 to 15 years, where I think about when I started, it really did seem like there was a way more of like, no, you just have to get as large and heavy as you can, and that's how you get strong. And I mean, it really is that mass moves mass thought. But now, especially on the natural side, you just see so many people that are so insanely strong, and they also have a rockin' physique, that I really do feel like this one has turned into a myth that to be strong, you don't need to be sloppy or obese or even, or really even that heavy. Like, you can be in pretty damn good shape and be also really, really strong.
Yeah.
That being said, the easiest way to get strong is to just pack on the pounds, though. Don't get that twisted. That is still the case.
Yeah, you said rockin' bod. You know what that reminded me of?
What?
Bodman spray.
Oh.
Do you remember Bodman spray?
The only reason I know because
I want your bod. That was the commercial.
Was
it
there
like
really?
saying,
I don't remember any commercials
your
for it.
bod. Oh, yeah.
I had a buddy that had it in his car, in his Pontiac Grand Am, and we'd love to go in there when it was unlocked and spray as much of it in there as we could. The bod man.
Yeah. It's like,
never
was that
heard
a
anyone else bring up
competitor
Bodman ever.
to Axe? Yeah. I think it still exists. Yeah, oh, yeah.
It was Bodman walked.
Yeah, and
so
this is
Axe
like
could
really
run.
ripped abs. That's like the classic.
Yes.
That's like the flavor is really ripped abs. That's got to be old.
Oh, yeah. I would say like 2000. When I think of it, I'm thinking of like 2003, 4, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's like a woman saying, I want your bod. Bodman. Fragrance spray. Really ripped abs.
I do not remember the commercials, though.
Yeah.
Bodman. That's awesome.
Like an even hokier Axe body spray.
Yeah, like a less self-aware Axe.
Yeah. Axe body spray, is it not like ridiculous enough for you?
People,
Try Bodman.
Okay, like do kids Jack's age, is Axe a thing for them or not?
I've never seen him have that.
Okay.
No.
See, we grew up when Axe just hit the market.
Yeah.
And man, it
the
hit
pinnacle of Axe.
It hit the market like a freaking freight train. Like I never once bought Axe. I did not like it. I never liked how any of it smelled, but I had some friends that like, that was
Went
like
hard on the Axe.
That was like your skip shower. That's your free pass to not shower. You had Axe. You could just spray that all over yourself. You know?
It's funny. So Axe wasn't, I mean, they probably also made it, but Axe wasn't really deodorant, right? It was just...
Well, it was just spray.
It wasn't
deodorant.
antiperspirant.
Yes, it was just spray
wasn't
deodorant.
spray deodorant, but it was just like body spray. It wasn't, because I remember like Right Guard spray deodorant that came in like
Actually, yes, I had a
and that was
friend
like
that would wear that.
spray deodorant.
Yeah,
is what. But like Axe is just body spray, right? Where it's like, no, it's like cologne.
Yeah, I had
more
to look
so
right
than
here.
deodorant, right?
In the U.S., Axe body spray was introduced in 2002, and man. When you're 2002, like you're middle school, I was like middle school.
Yeah.
I mean, you are in the thick. That is like the Axe prime
body
market
spray.
there. Guys that are just like starting to try deodorant outs for the first time and be stinky. It's like, yeah, that really spoke to some people.
Yeah, wasn't that the thing you'd tape down an Axe body spray and like that's like an Axe bomb? You'd put it tape down, because it was like an aerosol can that you push down. You'd tape it down and then throw it in their car. And it was an Axe bomb. So then like the entire thing goes off in someone's car and you like open the door and it's
my God, that would
absolutely
be awful.
ruined.
That would be the worst thing ever. I'd never heard of that. I just remember guys like, did you guys have in gym class? Did you guys have lockers?
Yes.
Okay, so like we have, or like if you're in sports, you had a locker too that you keep your stuff in.
Yeah.
And it happened all the time. Where when you're in like middle school and even your freshman year, because that was as late as we had gym, was like people would have their sweaty gym clothes and leave them in there like over the weekend or a long break, and they'd come back and they'd be disgusting. But what do? You lay it down on a bench and you just like spray paint it with Axe, and then it's like some guys are like, yeah, it's like clean. It's like, no, man, it's not.
Febreze was also getting popular right around then too. So there was actually, you could go a couple different routes. Febreze was just hitting its stride then too.
Febreze wasn't very tough, Like it didn't have that Axe thing going on.
Particularly in football, I remember people that would, you hang shirts up on the hook and they would take their shirts off. And it would literally be rigor mortis. Like, I'm like, how is that? Like, do you remember seeing that where it's like, it's still staying the shit? Like, it would be like solid as a rock, like a petrified shirt. And I'm like, do not put that on.
I know. Yeah, some people are pretty disgusting.
Yeah. Okay, next one other than Bodman fragrance spray. Sumo is cheating. The eternal internet comment.
At this point,
it's illegal. It's in the rule book.
At this point,
and it's
if you think that, you just haven't been exposed to anything in your life. Like you've never left your own little tiny little spot in the no one cares. Sumo is do whatever you want. Like if it's cheating, then you do it. It's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Go do it.
Everyone that power lifts and can do more sumo does it. There's
Exactly.
nobody that can do more sumo and chooses not to. No one's
I will
takes
take
a moral
the moral
high
high
ground
ground here. Yes, I
Nobody
will
does that.
I will take one for the team. And I mean,
Yes.
along these lines, there's also the arching while you're benching too wide, all of that. It's like, yeah, I mean, benching, there are some pretty crazy ones, but I mean, yeah, that's the rule book is do the lift. Doesn't really matter how it's done as long as it's within the rules.
If you're not maxing out, you're not training hard. Is that a powerlifting myth?
Kind
That's
of.
kind of something people say. That's a
Yes.
gym. Maybe even powerlifting is beyond that, but it's a gym. Certainly
Yeah.
a gym myth, I would say.
Oh, train insane or remain the same.
PR or ER.
Exactly. Nah, because people need to understand, especially in your early days, that there's a difference between training and testing. And you know,
Yeah.
when you're maxing out, you're not really training that day. You're testing your number, and you got to do that once in a while. But the key is once in a while, not like every other week or once a month. You don't need to be finding out where your 1 rep max is.
The joke in the gym, Massenomics gym is always, well, if I don't try it, how do I know if I can even still do it or not?
Exactly.
It's like you got to meet next week. If you don't max out now, do you really know if you can do it?
Yeah. And that's where
How do you know if you
that
can
shows
still
like how
do it?
dumb it sounds, you know, when you say it
Right.
that way. You know?
Like if like Ryan's there, like that's like regular conversation we would have is like, well, maxing out, I assume, right? Yeah, but don't try it. I don't really know if I can do it or not yet.
Exactly.
So, is this basically you need special supplements to get strong? So that's talking about taking gear. I mean, is that the?
I think,
thing
I mean, you
basically
could
we
even
talked-
make this
yeah.
one just about whether you need special supplements. The myth being you need special supplements, or even in general, you need supplements to get strong. No, you
Yeah. So
don't.
is it just
Like,
talking about supplements?
I mean,
Period.
you
like,
could take this 2 different ways.
because some people might say special supplements. You know,
yeah,
like
and like obviously you do not need steroids to get strong.
Right,
And I
right.
mean, as time goes on, I'm like more and more of the mentality that like really, like almost no one reaches their natural genetic potential.
Right.
Like most people don't even get
Right.
remotely close to it. You know.
it probably gets really hard for some people.
Oh, it gets yeah. I don't
Yeah.
doubt that like progress gets extremely slow and extremely hard,
Yeah.
but like I think most people that decide to hop on gear like hop on that train so fast, like where they could wait a little longer. But drugs aside, you know, so, you
Even
don't
just needing supplements, that's more of a novice approach, I think, where you're
It
like, no, I
is.
need supplements. That's just a not very novice idea.
and that's hey, if you want to get something, hop on over to BuildFast Formula, use code Massenomics,
Right.
save a little money. But like what they're selling there is basically caffeine and protein.
and which are two that I'm like, yep. And then if you could, and they also sell creatine, and that would be the
Yeah.
other one that I'm like, yep, that
And
too.
again, you don't need any of that. If your diet's on point,
No.
you don't need protein powder. Like I'll be the first to tell you, like you
Right.
don't. You know, if you don't want pre-workout or if you don't like caffeine, I get that too. Like you don't need to do that. Or if you want to make a cup of coffee, you can do that too. Some people
Yep.
like the way pre-workout hits. It's a little different, and sometimes it's more convenient, quicker, or simple. But yeah, you don't need the supplements to get strong. It's just that last little percent it might help you out a little.
Last one I thought was just so stupid I didn't even want to say it, but
Okay.
how about this one? Lifting heavy will make you slow.
Yeah. So I think this goes, maybe this myth would tie in with the, you have to be fat to be strong. The whole idea that,
Yep.
you're a power lifter, you eat cheeseburgers and you're just putting down the food and you've left all athleticism and health markers behind. You've just devoted your life to just getting as big as possible. And, that's not necessarily the case or true anymore. Like we were just saying, there's a lot of, top tier, mid tier. There's people all across the board that are in crazy good shape and can lift a lot of weight and could go out and, assuming that they've been practicing a little bit, not tear a hammy and run fast or, do
Yep.
athletic feats. So, no, lifting heavy will definitely not make you slow.
And there's like a level of diminishing or the opposite of diminishing turns. There's like newbie returns. Like if you don't lift at all and you want to get faster and you're kind of into running and stuff, like lifting is probably going to be the number one thing to get you faster, as a matter of fact.
Build some power and explosiveness for sure.
Right. Like around middle school age kids that do sports and are into sort of that. I'm like, usually it's the one that's get a little bit stronger that just get way faster really quickly because they're like all in good shape and stuff like that, so it's just a little bit of strength can go a long ways towards speed.
Mm-hmm.
But the flip side of the coin, I would say, is like, yeah, if you take your squat from 600 to 655, are you increasing your 100-meter dash time? I'm like, most times for most people, that's probably not what's holding them back.
Right,
it's like you're already strong.
Like the idea that like
that's not a limiter.
Yes, like the idea that like a huge chunk of NFL players, like their problem from being like a very, very top tier NFL player is that like they're not strong enough. It's like, you're kind of like playing the game of like the genetic filtering that has gone on here is like you're just at this point like you're kind of there's just a limit to what your actual potential is.
Yeah. Deadlifts are bad for your back. That's not something powerlifters say, but that's a myth that surrounds powerlifting. That people
that a lot
definitely
of
people that don't lift say that.
Yeah. I mean, I've hurt my back deadlifting before. I wouldn't say that deadlifts are bad for your back though. Deadlifting with improper form is definitely bad for your back. Like there's no debate there.
Right.
And a lot of people don't have good form. And even people that like have, I mean, I think for years I had decent form, but it wasn't actually that good in the scheme of things. But yeah, this one is tricky. It is hard because deadlifts can be bad for your back, but no, just the blanket statement of deadlifts are bad for your back. No, that's not true.
Yeah. The classic thing would be like, well, being stronger is actually better for your back. That's what people would often say. I don't know. I think with back, I'm not Stu McGill or anyone like that. I do kind of somewhat subscribe to the idea that mostly everyone at a certain age, it could be different ages for different people, is probably going to experience some kind of back pain, whether you lift or don't lift. So the idea that like, lifting messed up your back, I'm like, I don't know if I feel like your back was going to get probably messed up one way or another. Like for most people, maybe that's not true, but that's just a thought I have is that
it is. Well, it's similar. Yeah. It's lifting can absolutely mess up your back, but also the fact that you lift probably means you're going to recover from it way faster than a person that doesn't. Like a person that does
you kind of know your body.
Oh, yes.
Like
a person that does nothing and hurts their back, they're just like done. Like it's take them out to pasture. Like it's game over. Like this is, they don't even know it. They
don't even know what their back, like they don't even have an idea of what a proper positioning for their back should be on even just like bending over,
Well,
just
and then
like
the idea of like a recovery plan of any kind. Like if you're someone that exercises a little bit and you hurt your back, you kind of you're putting yourself in different positions and you kind of understand like, oh, it hurts when I do this, but not when I do this. So like just at the most basic thing. But yeah, if you're a person that doesn't do any of that, you're just like, it all hurts. It sucks so bad. Like, and your life's over. And as someone that is dealing with back pain just recently,
right.
Wasn't from deadlifts. It's just part of our situation's a little different though. Like once you start getting to where you're putting heavier weights on the bar, like there is just always that risk that's involved with that.
Yes.
Like, and that's just how that goes. But yeah, deadlifts, they're not bad for your back.
Also, you know what else is bad for your back too, besides like bad deadlifts, is
Doing
just
nothing.
like sitting your ass on the couch for
there's nothing
8 hours a day.
Yes, there's
like,
nothing that
fucks up
agitates
people's bad.
There's nothing that agitates outside of a plane seat. Maybe there's nothing that agitates my back
An
more than just
Allegiant
like
plane seat.
sitting around doing nothing. I can just feel it.
That's what destroys my back? Getting sick and having to
just
sit
laying down for 3
like
straight days.
Yeah, you know how bad my back feels after that. I'm almost like, God, I'm going to be crippled from this experience. From just like you go from a chair to a bed to a whatever, and you can't even sleep anymore because you're like, oh, my back hurts so much from just laying around.
Yeah. And the one, like, some people will say like deadlifts like make their back feel better or whatever. I've never really necessarily thought that. For me, squats would be the one where I would put in that category of like, sometimes, I don't know, I feel like it's like squatting, like just puts everything back in alignment and it's like, okay, we're good to go now.
Power lifters can't do cardio.
No, I mean you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I would say like if you're a power lifter that's getting close to a meet, maybe look at the amount of cardio you're putting in. Like, you know, if you have a meet that's a week away or the week of, like, maybe don't decide to pick up jogging that week or run a 5K or something. If you haven't been doing that, like, you can introduce a lot of fatigue in that way.
It's a specificity issue at that point, especially close to peaking for a meet.
Right. Yeah. You don't need, that's not the time to introduce any wild cardio stimulus, but powerlifters actually should, for the most part, be doing some cardio. Like, that's probably one of the most blanket statements you could make here, is that most people that subscribe to a powerlifting type training should probably be doing a little more cardio than what they are right now.
You can get really strong without doing any cardio.
Right. And when I say cardio, I don't mean like, like I did my squats sets in 10 minutes instead of 15 minutes. Like, I think some actual cardio would be pretty beneficial.
Yeah. For most people, I think that's true.
Just for general health. Like, maybe it doesn't do anything for powerlifting, but just to have your health like a little more in check is always good.
But you're also right. If like absolute strength is your main goal, there's probably a point in time when you have to, it's easy to also use this as an excuse, but at certain times you have to decide, like, what's the fatigue? Like, is it good for me to get this extra fatigue? That's where a powerlifter can also say, oh yeah, I can't do that right now.
Right. Ever. I can't ever do that.
Right.
I got nothing but big days on the schedule for the next 2 months here.
Right. So that is kind of a slippery slope maybe, but you can't make gains lifting only 3 to 4 days a week.
Is
that something people even think?
I think there's a lot of people that think if you're going to be like powerlifting or bodybuilding's a little different.
You have to go to the gym every day.
But actually, when I say bodybuilding, I'm saying like most people's definition of like, I'm running a bodybuilding
going to the
program.
Gym and trying,
going to the gym with like a program,
going to the gym and not really wanting to do any squatting or deadlifting,
and only wanting to use machines.
That's kind of what it is, right?
Most people that are on a bodybuilding program means
like,
I have like
I really
5,
don't like doing squats.
Yeah, I have 4 upper body days and like 1 day that kind of sort of does everything else. Like that's mostly, and like one of those days it spends in just a crazy amount of time on forearm exercises, and one of them is just on upper back exercises. But I do think, like, I've basically only ever lifted 3 days a week. When I was younger, I definitely had time to do more, but that's all I ever did. And now I would like to do more, but there's a lot of weeks where I honestly I make it happen, but it's like I'm working to get my 3 days in. Like, it's hard. Like, there's just so much shit going on. And I've talked to several people over the years that think, because they know, like, through Massenomics or whatever, they like to lift, and they assume I'm lifting like 5 or 6 days a week. And I'm like, no, dude, 3 days a week. And like, if I'm not like doing heavier weights, getting ready for a meet, like, those 3 days a week could be like damn near hour sessions. Like, like you can do like 3 hours a week. You can get, not that I'm like that strong, but you can get fairly strong.
Yeah.
Just honestly a few hours a week, as long as you're focused and like taking care of work. And then, if you're having a great time or your schedule allows, look at a 4th day or maybe a 5th day. But like, you don't have to be on like a 4, 5, 6 day a week thing to get strong.
No. When I was younger, I did 5 days a week for quite a while, but also I was doing a lot of mostly pointless stuff that that's just like
a lot of bodybuilding.
One day they're like, oh, it's arm day, and then it's like, oh, it's shoulder day, oh, it's chest day. I'm like, well, it's back day, oh, it's leg day. Okay, there's 5 days, and you just like
right there, you got them all.
I'm like, well, one day you're just coming to the gym and you're doing arms and abs. Well, I don't go to the gym and just do that anymore because I kind of feel like that's a waste of time, and so I want every day to be pretty purposeful, and I do 4 days a week, and I couldn't do a 5th day of that type of training.
Right, there'd be like your 5th day would just be garbage, right?
Right, right. So 4 is actually about like the most even if I had an infinite amount of time, I could go to the. If I had an infinite amount of time, I would go and just ride the bike a little bit.
I would too, 100%. Like if I knew I had more time, I would for sure be on 4, probably 5. But I mean, even if you were like, no, I got my training figured out. I mean, how many weeks would a 5th day even work for your schedule though?
Like you mean like for my life schedule?
If you're like, I figured out what I
no,
want my
I
programming
wouldn't.
to be for fifth day.
I mean, I would just go to the gym and do like I would do the rower or ride the bike. You know, I wouldn't even really choose to. I guess I would be like, I'm going to do grip stuff or forearm stuff, or if
But
I just had an
with your
infinite amount of time.
But I'm saying, like, with your life situation, like,
I
would
don't have any extra
would that
time for
fifth
that.
day like happen often, or would it be like, no, the schedule does not allow this fifth day?
No, I can't. No, I can't. I mean, I could in a pinch if I like have a good excuse to go to the gym for an extra day. I could make that happen, but I can't do that consistently. I have, 4 is what I can manage with my life schedule of between work and family. Like more than that, and I feel like I'm actually causing a big problem.
I'm just a burden to everyone.
Yeah, I'm like, no, we have stuff that I have to be responsible for. If I didn't have that, just say I didn't have a job, I'd go to the gym 6 days a week and I'd find something because I just like to be at the gym.
Right.
Like
and it's
being
like,
at the gym's fun.
It's like the thing about Juji's. You're like, well, I'll be there. Eventually I'll be doing something.
Yes.
Like we're just hanging out long enough.
I'd still only have 3 or 4 days where I really do hard work. The other ones would be like, oh, this is my active recovery day. And I would just, I'd stretch. I'd,
mess around on the rower a little bit.
Right.
Maybe roll out.
Yeah. Okay. So that was most of our list of powerlifting myths. What else? Is there anything not on the list that you would add?
I added these two at the end. One is that like the idea that if you do an untested fed or an untested meat, that you have to be on gear. And it's like, no, like you don't have to do a USAPL meet. Just like if you're natural, don't think you have to do a USAPL meet. Like just pick the meat that's close, easy, and convenient for you. And if that's an untested one, who cares? Do it, man. Like that's so far off my radar at this point. Mostly I think, at least in large part because of the way the Lift Hard the VZ Classic is, that it's been, this will be the third year of it as an untested meet. And I don't know because it's untested and a lot of people don't share this, but I think a huge majority of the people doing it are natural. I would assume, yes.
I'm saying like 90%
yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Yes.
And like, especially ours, not to toot our own horn, ours is so cool. Nobody gives a shit, first of all, that is the exact perfect view of that people don't care, like people aren't worried about what other people are doing, which that I love. But that being said, I think most of the people are natural, but none of them care. It's not like, oh, dang it, I have to compete against one of these guys is, on steroids or on TRT or whatever it is. Like, I don't think anybody cares because that's not really the point.
It'd be a very weird place to care. Is that our meat? If someone did.
But I don't think that. Like, if someone's doing an untested meet, that means nothing to me. That usually probably means that USAPL is probably not their vibe, which there is, like USAPL is tested. That's one thing. It's also a vibe in another way, which I don't mind. We've done several USAPL meets and I've had really good experiences at both, but USAPL, especially even over the last 5 years, I would say is a very particular vibe versus non USAPL meets. And some people just don't like that. Right.
It's just a much, and nothing wrong with it. It's just like it's just stricter. It's just stricter about everything. There's just
which draws some people to it too.
There's just a lot more rules and things to be aware of. And I mean, you could say it's a pro, and you could also say it's a con. It just depends on what you're into.
Right. But so when I see someone do untested at this point, an untested meet, especially in the Midwest, it means absolutely nothing because a lot of times here it is. To your first point, it's just doing a meet that you could get to.
Yeah, right.
And it was what was offered.
The difference might be an untested meet is 3 hours away, or a tested meet is 6 hours away. Like that's
right.
Sometimes those are your two choices.
Yeah. What was the
final one? This is the last myth. You have to wait. You have to wait to be bigger or have a bigger total before you do your first meet. And I think that's a good one. Like the number one myth that people get wrong with powerlifting is like,
yes,
your first meet doesn't matter at all. It's your first meet. Like it's all PRs across the board. Like don't think you have to wait for a 1,000 pound total or a 1,200 or a 1,500 or an 1,800, whatever magical number you decide is the number that is your unveiling to the world. Like no one cares. It's your first meet. Just I can guarantee you'd be stronger if you just signed up and did that first meet than if you waited like a year of like kind of training and trying to decide what the perfect time is. Like, no, just go do that first meet.
Yeah, nobody that's not a loser, nobody that has an opinion that you should care about whatsoever will ever judge you on your numbers for that first meet in a negative way. Nobody.
No one will really even judge
Yeah.
you for your second, third, fourth meet because no one
No,
cares.
yeah,
But
nobody cool. Nobody that you want to be friends with or actually hang out with is going to judge you based on those numbers. Everyone's going to judge you like, did you try hard? Did you have fun?
Honestly,
were you fun to hang out with? Were you not a pain in my ass in the warm-up room?
right.
Like those are did it seem like you gave it all you got when it was your chance to do your rep on the platform? That's the stuff people like. I witness it firsthand every year. That's the only thing anyone cares about. Nobody even knows what the like.
And well, no one knows what's good or bad for you unless they're like
Right.
really are following you, they're paying attention to like your friend or a training partner, and they're not going to care what your first meet is. They're there to support you. So
No.
yeah, the
And
people that know are there to
powerlifting
support
is-
you. The people that don't know, so they don't
Yeah.
care.
Powerlifting is still a sport that's about you versus you or you versus your past self.
Yeah.
And it's not, I mean, there is awards for placing and stuff like that, but that is not
Right. It
what
can
it's
just,
about at the,
yeah.
you know,
And it can just vary wildly on just who shows up that day.
yeah. So
I would also say, you know what's kind of cooler anyways is seeing a guy that, his first meet was 8 years ago and he put up a 1,000 pound total. And now 8 years later, look, they stuck with it the whole time. And now they have a
Right.
1,600 pound total. It's like,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Like they put in the work, not like, they waited around 4 years and got to 1,500 pounds. And now 2 more years have gone by and they've added 100 pounds to their total. It's like, people do that. That happens. But it's way cooler to see like, no, this guy has been like doing it for years. Like he's got experience. He's been doing meets. And look, they've improved the whole way. Like that's awesome to see.
that is true. Like I'm guilty. Well, part of it is at the time we started, like my first meet, my total was like over 1,500 pounds or so, you know, I deadlifted probably 600 and some pounds and benched like over 400. And like, that is almost, to me, that is waiting too long for someone who I found out that I really enjoy doing this.
Yeah, but we hardly even knew it existed before.
That's what
that
I'm
was-
saying. Like I was just a gym rat who had lifted for a really long time that I wasn't even like powerlifting just in 2011 was barely, especially
Right.
in South Dakota.
And we drove 6
you know?
hours to that meet. It was you and me. We drove 6 hours to go to that meet. You know, like it
Right.
was like this wasn't like, why didn't you do the local meet? There wasn't a local one. Like,
Right.
You
There
know?
wasn't a culture of it either. There
No.
was not only was there not meets, I wasn't hanging out with people that were doing meets or
Right.
going on the internet and watching people that were powerlifting.
like it
You
was
know,
like hard to find them even. You know, like you had to like know somebody that knew somebody to even, at least in our part of the country, to find out where the hell these meets were.
right. Which, you know, if it was different now, I'd be like, I would have done a powerlifting meet 5 years earlier
Yeah.
than that. But at the time, that was kind of a victim of the time and setting, where it was like that was the only choice. But like in a perfect world, if it was right now, I wouldn't wait till I could deadlift 600 pounds and bench
No.
400 pounds to do a meet. You know, that would
honestly,
be-
if you're on the fence right now, I'd say just look and pick the first one that's like a little more than like 6 weeks out. Like,
right.
you know?
Yeah, if you can do like 12 weeks away, that's a pretty
yeah,
sweet.
or 8 weeks.
sweet
Like if
size,
it's your
yeah.
first one, 8 weeks is enough time to just get focused and get a little training plan. Like
Just to know how to
4
do
weeks
lists and
out.
stuff.
Okay, if it's your first one, maybe 4 weeks out isn't enough time to kind
Right.
of get your mind wrapped around what you need to do and everything. But I mean, it's still possible. Like there's still nothing wrong with that. But you also want to be kind of comfortable with how this whole thing works going into it too.
I can't even remember. What do you suppose the time frame was when we signed up for that first powerlifting meet?
I
How
actually
long
remember
do you think
it.
we signed up before
I
it?
remember because I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong here, but I do remember you asked me at the gym, you said, hey, I think some of us are going to do this powerlifting meet in Rapid City. Do you want to do it? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. And I remember I drove home back to Millbank because I'm pretty sure it was Thanksgiving weekend. So I think you asked me on a Wednesday because the gym was like
Probably
empty.
Yeah.
So the gym was like empty. Like we were the only ones up there because Thanksgiving, everyone was gone. You asked me
Right.
that. And I remember I drove home and I actually met my parents at the bar. We were going to get wings. And I'm like, I'm going to do this powerlifting meet. And they're like, oh, cool. And so that would have been, the powerlifting meet was always in like early March. So that would have been like 3 or 4 months to prep for it.
So that was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Those were the days. We used to be a proper freaking country, am I right?
Yes.
Does that kind of put a bow on our powerlifting myth discussion?
Let us know. Are there any other powerlifting myths that you've seen cycling online for years and years that we definitely missed some. There's so many just myths out there, but any
in the YouTube comment, leave us what
any
other
major
powerlifting
myths that you've heard over the years, a ton that we missed out on. I'd love to hear what those are.
And also, any of these we covered, would you be so bold as to say some of these are not myths and they are actually facts?
Well, yeah,
like, no,
some of them,
sumo is cheating though. Like, anyone that's going to take the stance that no, you do have to be fat to be strong.
Believe it or not, powerlifters actually can't do cardio. It's not possible.
Right. Or like lifting heavy will make you slow. I guess I suppose at a certain far end of the bell curve, that's maybe true. Did we skip? You need to squat below parallel or it doesn't count.
We did skip that one. If you're powerlifting, the last one you said, you need to squat below parallel or it doesn't count. If
that's
you're
true,
powerlifting, that's true. Everyone else, it doesn't really matter. If you're kind of parallel-ish, that's fine. And people love to, be the depth police online. That's the thing. But
if you're not powerlifting it, first of all, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
And if you're not powerlifting, I would just kind of say, like, what's it matter to you?
Obviously, a range of motion is good. Like, you want to try.
Right, you want to if you're trying to get stronger.
Be like doing a quarter squat with like 5 plates on each side. Like, there
you might just look like a jabroni if you do that
what
too.
What are you doing here? But if someone's squatting down, they got 2 plates on, and they're like kind of parallel-ish, and they're just training just to lift, just to stay healthy. They're not hurting anyone. That's fine.
Okay, so leave us the comment on the YouTube what powerlifting myths we missed and what opinions you have on the ones we did discuss. And then what were sleeves? Were you talking about sleeves?
Okay, so moving on.
Did you get a new pair of sleeves? No, there was a sleeve.
So I had mentioned the last time that I think part of this little back fiasco I got into is my Pioneer knee sleeves were so damn tight. It just messed everything up. I'd mentioned so tight that my legs actually, it does draw blood.
I knew the IPF banned those for a reason.
Right. And I'm like, my mediums, I can get them on, so I have medium SBDs from 2016, 2017. They've been around forever. Only knee sleeves I've ever had besides these Pioneer ones. And, I'm like, I do enjoy wearing knee sleeves. I can't be dicking around with these things that some days I can and can't get off. Like, it's just too annoying. I'm like, I just need another pair of knee sleeves I can count on. And my immediate thought was, we were kind of shitting on SBD a little bit. I shouldn't say shitting on them, but maybe being critical of maybe some hand they might have played in this knee sleeve fiasco. But I'm like, you know what? I like my SBD ones. I know what size. Ultimately, the issue with knee sleeve is sizing. I'm like, I know what size I need. I have a medium, and they're just a little too small. I'll go to a large. That will solve all of my problems. That will solve all of them. And then I had this second thought of like, well, but maybe I should just get A7 ones instead. And so I go look, and the first thing that I notice is that a lot of the colors are not getting blue and black or green and black knee sleeves or blue and black. It doesn't fit the vibe. It's the wrong color.
They don't just do they have anything that's just like all black?
They did, but the other thing I noticed, and I think it was because of this whole knee sleeve fiasco and they ran a sale, is that they essentially had 0 in stock that were between the sizes of large and 4XL. Like, everything was wiped out, unless I wanted some pink ones, which I wasn't going to do. So like, no, screw it. I just got to get this over with. So I went on SBD, ordered a pair of larges. They showed up, and man, they just slipped on just fine. No fight. And that's what I have for knee sleeves right now. So
so they work good.
Yeah, so they work good. Yeah.
Okay. What color did you get?
I went with the classic, just black SBD with red. Like, those are the colors. That's the other thing, is they're the right colors. They
got it right off the beginning.
Yeah, it's the right color. Like, they have that going in their favor. So I now have a second pair of SBD knee sleeves,
and they do fit well.
They fit great. Yeah, they would go on just fine. They're firm yet supportive. The Quality's good.
Smooth and easy to grip.
Smooth and easy to grip.
But so you didn't get the SBD competition ones? Or
I
whatever
didn't
they
because
are.
what I'm after here more is
Something you can just get on
something I can just
and, like,
wear for training.
Yeah.
But I think what
You've
I might
got
do.
the super tight ones.
Yeah, I don't
already.
need the world's tightest thing. But the mediums are really tight. I think still, like, if it came down to it on like meet day, I'd probably still just wear my mediums, you know?
Right. That's what I would say too.
Yeah. So that's the plan. It is interesting though. I'm not sure. Like SBD, I think they kind of changed the formula like a few years ago, because even when you
Could
go on
have
the
been
website,
anywhere within the last 10 years because
Actually,
that's
yeah,
old. Yeah.
'cause they have the logo changed, but
Yeah.
even they have the original version. It says like knee sleeves 2013 or something is on the website. Like the ones we have, you can get
Yeah.
that version. Like that one exists in its own little product category, and there's all the
Okay.
others. But what I noticed is like mine, and I'm curious if yours do this. Like when I'm not wearing them, they pretty much lay flat. Like they're pretty much flat.
I use the thing at the gym, so
But
it's
even on there,
hanging
are they
the-
mostly flat? Like they're not round circular when they're hanging on there, are they?
I don't. They're a little bit, but maybe it's more. Maybe they do hang down.
Yeah,
more,
like
maybe.
mine are. Yeah, like mine are like more like sandwich looking when they're up there.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And maybe it's just because I haven't worked out in these ones yet. But what I did notice is, they came in the package and they're flat in the package, and I just put them on my knees and I squatted down a few times. When I took them off, they stayed round and circular, and like mine do not and have never done that.
They're floppy. Yeah, the old ones are
like
floppy.
the Pioneers stay round and circular when
Right.
you have them off because they're
Right.
so dense and thick. These
Yeah.
ones though, they stay round. Maybe if I just actually lifted them once, they flatten out. But I did think that was interesting because it's something, at least on the initial impression, was different there.
I honestly haven't put a pair on knee sleeves on in so long now. I can't even really.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to even think about it. We'll have to bust some out someday. See what the knee sleeve see what this knee sleeve hype is. all about.
I love wearing knee sleeves. Like it's, if given the choice, if I had to pick between belt and knee sleeves, I would pick a belt. But my knees feel so much better when I wear knee sleeves. I don't know.
It's like your knees being tucked into bed. And
It is,
and
it gives me like this natural rebound point where it just feels like, yep, that's depth, because things are just, the compression and tightness is there, and that's where I turn this around. And without that, it just feels like, I don't know, do I just squat until my butt hits the floor? Like, where do I stop?
Right. I might have to try these knee sleeves someday that you guys have been talking about.
Put your elbow
people
sleeves,
talk about these.
Put your
knee
elbow sleeves on your knees and see what happens.
Yeah, I've worn such little amount of I haven't worn because of being injured in recovery. I haven't worn a belt or a sleeve of any kind in at least 7 months. The only thing I've worn of protective gear is wrist wraps for bench press.
Okay, this is one thing I always wonder. Like, do you, and there's probably someone that has a definitive answer on this. Like, do you think, does deadlifting or squatting without a belt actually make you stronger, do you think?
I can't say. I do it a lot.
Uh-huh.
And even like when I'm not injured, I implement that a lot. But I cannot say I don't feel confident in saying that I think it makes me stronger, but I know a lot of people would say that.
A lot of people would, but
I
was
personally
curious,
can't say that.
Like,
I
if
think
you
that.
ran,
I
let's
don't
just
know.
say like a 8-week training cycle, and that 8-week training cycle, let's say you ran it without a belt versus running it with a belt. Like, at the end of the training cycle, would you be stronger one way or the other? I'm genuinely curious to know, like, is there any science behind that supports
that's a good question.
Because where I can see, in my very
but
uneducated opinion, I could see one thought process tells me, well, you can probably lift more with a belt. And at the end of a training cycle, if you were able to handle heavier loads, you should be stronger because you were training heavier for that training cycle.
heavier over more training days that were all.
And that's where my brain typically leads to, is like, okay, if you look at like the total weights you handled over a training cycle, you handled more weights means stronger. But then I sort of see the argument of like, well,
No,
But-
that you get so strong without it, then you pop it on and you're like, oh, now I have like all this bonus.
Right, but then I also
room,
think like,
yeah.
but using a belt, like there is a certain level of skill to it too. I think of.
Oh, that's definitely true.
Because then I think, well, also like, so now you're actually even just worse. Like you didn't train as heavy, and now you're worse at using a belt too. Like, because I think the thought
yeah.
process is like, oh yeah, well, if you didn't use a belt, like you're just like using your muscles so much more. But I don't know. I'm like, are you activating more muscles not using a belt though? It's not like it's a crutch, you know. It's not like you're
Right,
lifting.
right.
And I don't mean this
No.
like as a belt, a bench shirt as a crutch, but it's not like you were like lifting with assistive equipment, you know, all of a sudden, and
Right.
now you're not.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. Even as someone that trains intentionally beltless outside of injury, even just in normal training, I train a lot of beltless periods, but I do it for a different reason than someone that says they want to get stronger.
So what's your
You know,
reasoning?
My reason, I treat it like basically like you would treat a variation, in the sense that if you don't want a low bar back squat all the time because the load, like for 52 weeks a year, is just so intense. The
Right,
load
just crushes you.
crushes. So it's just a variation where it's like, no, my RPE can be high. Just like if you do a Zercher squat, your RPE can still be high, but the load is 60%.
Okay, so you're saying you use beltless as a way to bring the intensity down.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, actually to keep the intensity high, but the load down.
Yes, yes, yes,
it's
yes.
to
That's what I,
use the
yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Like that's what I use it as, where I'm like, nope, this is where I'm still doing an RPE 8, but it's just with
Okay.
40 less pounds, because I'm not like, mainly because it's like, my hips or whatever else it is. I just can't lift like that all the time. But then I can still do things that are hard,
Yeah.
that are testing me, that are like, that are, I don't know, I just, for the lack of better word, that are just hard, but
Yep.
yet not as absolutely fatiguing or
Yes.
injury causing in my case, is what I think. Like, it's like actually by bringing the overall load down, but still making it hard. Like, I feel like I'm,
Yep.
hopefully avoiding some
It's
of
like
that.
you
But
change your grip up. You've put yourself in a
yeah,
less
it's really like a
advantageous position.
variation. I think of it as a variation in that way too.
Okay.
Just where it's like, no, I'm close grip benching. And,
And because the ultimate idea with you though is that like you knew if you put the belt on, you could do more. Is what you're
Right.
getting at?
Oh,
Okay.
especially on a squat. Like, I
Okay,
absolutely
yes.
can squat
Yep.
more with a belt. Like, even deadlift is a little trickier, and I think for
See,
a
and
lot
that's
of
why
people
I
that
kept
is
thinking
true.
of deadlift with you, and I'm like, I don't even like if Tanner was like, I don't need a belt, like that would not surprise me if you said that.
No, I squat. I can any day of the week put a belt on it and immediately feel stronger.
Yes. Okay. I
That is
100% agree there.
absolute. But
Okay.
on a belt, sometimes it can be like, I don't know, it just feels like it's annoying, and there definitely is a thing that you have to train with it for a while, and then I think you don't get the advantage of it immediately if you're completely
Yeah,
not
I think
used to
there's a
using
skill
belt.
to
Yeah, there's a
proper
skill to it.
positioning and bracing against the belt,
Yeah,
breathing, all
but
that.
I do think most people, if they get the skill down, will be stronger with it. Will be able to lift more with a belt. Most people on
over
the
a
deadlift,
training
but
cycle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but some people I don't know. On deadlift, I have seen people that I'm like, I don't know, I guess you're,
deadlift's deadlift is the exception.
Yeah.
I don't, because you do, like there are people that don't use a belt for deadlift. I don't know. Is there anybody that uses a belt but is like, nope, don't use a belt on squat? I'll use a belt on deadlift, but I do not use one on squat. I'm not familiar with anyone that there is.
No, I mean, I just think you'll be stronger. Like, I just almost can't believe hardly anyone feels. They might not be used to a belt and they might not like it.
Yep.
But my thought would be is if you use it long enough to get used to it, your squat's probably going to be more.
Yeah. So the thing, so the thing you said about like you use not using a belt as a way to, to add in a variation. What I typically do, because just for me, just the belt being on is such a cue to like brace.
Yeah.
That a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just have it lighter, just a looser fit.
Not as tight. Yeah.
Just for me, always just the very fact of a belt being there, I just feel like I brace better, whether the belt is like in a position where it's actually really even doing anything or not. Just having something around my midsection for whatever reason is like the cue that I need to like brace and push against it correctly. So that's where like if I'm ever like on the fence, it's like, I'll just put the belt on, but I'll go like 3 notches looser than normal.
Right.
And just helps keep my brace in check.
Yeah, I buy that too. What the original question though, I feel like I don't know. But maybe if someone had a really big, I don't know what the weakness would be, but if then they could benefit, if they had a particular weakness, then they benefited from a training cycle with no belt and actually got stronger at something. And then they went back to the belt and were stronger because it helped a weakness they had. But I don't know what that weakness is.
Isn't that make an assumption, though, that a belt
Yeah.
removes a certain muscle group from an exercise?
That's that's what I, but maybe it's like not even a muscle group. Maybe it's like, I don't know, some other form of weakness that you have that's, I don't know. I'm just grasping at straws to even come up with
there
a
probably is something I'm
justification
not
for
thinking of, but
yeah. Because I generally would believe, I genuinely agree with what you're saying too there. So, but I'm just trying to justify what the reason for to not do a belt that actually gets you stronger for a period of time than if you would have worn the belt for that period of time. My reasoning is, well, maybe it prevents me from being injured.
It's almost
so then
out of
I am
regulation.
ultimately
It's a
stronger.
yeah.
Right. Which I mean, obviously I'm saying it, so I buy it, but I think there's logic behind that because people do it a lot of different ways. That's just a way to do it. But the actual thought that, no, you straight up got stronger because you didn't wear the belt for that 12 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever. It's an interesting thought. Drop a YouTube comment on that, what you think, because I think that there will be people that have a lot of different opinions on that.
I think there's programs out there that will specifically call for beltless, movements.
Well, I'd be curious what some of the science actually does say about that too.
Yeah.
Like if this is a question that we brought to Greg Knuckles, Dr. Mike,
right,
and whoever else, what do they know? What is their
does beltless training get you stronger so then when you go back to using a belt, you're even better?
Or anecdotal experience. What does Chad say, for example?
Right.
Like who's trained a lot of people, like what's his take? Is he
I feel like
no,
he would
that's
say
a
wear
waste
a belt, but
that's yeah. So drop a YouTube comment on that, though. I do think we'll get some interesting comments because I think there could be smart people, both being smart or all being smart, that have a different opinion, different take on that too.
I could definitely see it on this one, yes.
And strong people that have, two strong people that have different takes on that also. So argue with each other in the comment section to boost our algorithm. What do we got? Some sort of Fairlife update?
Okay. So there's,
I always like a good Fairlife update.
People are always hyping up this special Fairlife that Costco has. And Dr. Tatty Waffles had some at his house. He offered it to us, but we had like 1,000 beverages already, so we didn't take it. And the last time I was at Costco, I go through and I look, and I see this pallet of Fairlife drinks.
Oh, a flat.
And I got it, and I'm like, God, I feel like this is different than the ones that I remember seeing.
The
like
Dr.
the bottles,
Tatwaff set.
yeah, like the bottle color is different or something. But anyways, before I looked into it more, I had one, and God, okay, actually, no, I'm gonna back up. Sorry, it is different. I looked, and I got like the frickin' it's the Fairlife.
You got the strawberry milk one.
No, it's still chocolate. That is the Core Power one. I think I've seen you have these before, maybe.
Yeah.
A bottle has like 26 grams of protein.
Yeah.
And it comes in like I don't know, it was like a 18 pack or something. But the ones that Dr. Tatty Waffles had were these ones that were 30 grams of protein. Either way. So I got what I looked at. The one that I thought I was getting, they didn't have in stock. I got this other one. I started having this at breakfast. God, I freaking crave these things in the morning now. Like, I'm not even a chocolate milk guy. I've said this before. I'm talking about Fairlife recently, being a recent discoverer of
Fairlife
it. But
convert. Yeah.
oh man, in the morning with my breakfast now, you do eggs, a bagel, a yogurt, a Fairlife. Oh, that is just like a breakfast right there. And you have like almost 80 grams of protein. Like, man, that is a way to start your day right there. So,
starting off the day with a bang.
a protein
Not a
bang.
Yeah. Not a bang energy. That reminded me of something that Officer Wolf from Western Northeast South Dakota.
Yep.
Has been a lifter with him for several years. And he texted me out of the blue the other day. He said, do you remember at our local grocer that one time many years ago? He's like, it was at least 10 years ago. They had this brand of protein drinks that were on sale for like less than $1 a bottle.
Oh.
And he's like, do you remember we went and bought all of them? Do you remember what that was called? And I'm like, not only do I remember, it is like the very first photo that I still have saved on my phone.
Really?
It's from March 15th of 2011. It's one of the very early photos I have. And I bought, because he and I bought every single one that they had there. I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, at least 10 cases because it's what I can see in the picture. And I'll kind of put this on the screen so people can, I don't know if you can see that at all. Oh, here's you can see it, but.
It's not
called,
focusing. I can't see the text.
It's Myoplex is the
Myoplex. I feel like I've heard of that
Myoplex,
before.
and you can see I have 10 cases that I had my old bachelor pad that I bought there. And this was, so this is 14, 15 years ago.
This like purple box. I've definitely seen this before. Like the more
EAS is the brand, Myoplex, and they were selling these for like, I don't know, it might have been 60 cents a bottle or 50 cents a bottle.
That's cheap. That's really cheap.
I felt like I was living high on the hog for months there, where I just had like this surplus of all these easy to grab protein drinks that I spent almost no money on. It was like winning the lottery. It was just having these at my disposal. I remember it being a sad day when I grabbed the last one of those, and I'm like, wow, these are really gone, huh?
Well,
That was the last of it.
now a 20-pack of those on Amazon will run you $70.
Whoa. That's insane.
That's a lot.
Like, I think we were literally buying like a case of that, however many that was. If it was like 20 of them, the case was like $10. There was some weird, I don't know if they fell off a truck or what the scenario was.
They realized no one actually likes this.
Yeah, that might have been it too. But we just thought it was the steal of a lifetime. So much so that I took that picture and have saved it for 15 years.
Myoplex. That is the one thing about that Fairlife, though. It's not cheap. Even by Costco standards, you're looking at a little over $2 a bottle. And, if you do the math on 26 grams of protein, a little over $2, like it ain't no cottage cheese, that's for sure.
But then again, what is?
I guess, when you're comparing everything against perfection, you should prepare to be disappointed.
Yes. Anything else you want to run down on this one?
I want to put an end on this one, put a bow on this. I don't know if you remember, it was probably 5 years ago, maybe more. You asked me if I'd seen a little show called Succession. You had started the first season, and you had hyped it up to me and had high praise for it. Well, I'm happy to announce that I have finally finished the last episode of Succession. I'm done with the show.
Is the series over?
Yeah, the series has been over for like 2 years.
Oh, it has been. Okay.
Yeah. And I actually I had watched all of them except the last. I had just the last episode left for like 6 months now, and it was an hour and a half, and I could just not bring myself to watch this hour and a half long episode.
Yeah.
I have finly finished it. Succession is done.
Really come full circle on the podcast, haven't
Dude,
we?
I remember you recommended that. It was in my last house in Aberdeen.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about it there. Like, they're like really rich, like really, really rich.
And I went from recommending that to you to probably, I don't think I even watched anything after the first season of that.
Nope.
What is it? Would you recommend someone watching?
Oh yeah, it's a great
series?
show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's an awesome show.
Did it stay good?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, you could make.
Did they ever resolve all their family drama?
You'll find out in the last episode.
If I remember right, there was a lot of family drama.
It's all power moves. It's all power moves and politics. You realize, like, sometimes you think like, just because people's brains are wired different, and sometimes I think like, like when you already have like tens of billions of dollars or whatever it is, like, why do you even care anymore about anything?
Right.
And then I remember, it's the power. It's the power. It's the idea that someone has something on you or is better. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's what will keep people going until the end of time, is the idea that like someone is beating them. Like, money and none of that even matters anymore. It's just purely the idea that you're better than me and I can't let you have that. And
can't stand.
That's what all these people, it's like all this high drama. And I'm like, like you get into it and you're like, wait a minute. They're billionaires at the end of the day. This doesn't even matter. It really actually doesn't matter at all. But
I watched a little something. I'm curious if you've heard about this. It's It's a Netflix document. Oh, you haven't seen the who's that idiot? Liver King documentary, have you?
No, I have not.
I haven't watched that
don't
either.
think I'll be watching it either. No.
I don't plan on it. No, on Netflix documentary, American Manhunt. Oh, it's Osama bin Laden.
Okay, dude. All right. It's
I've
funny you
watched
brought
the
this
whole
up.
thing.
It's so funny you brought this up. While I was watching Succession, it was on. I watched the last episode on the airplane back from Florida.
Yep.
And it's like 3 rows in front of me. I'm like, there's a lady sitting there and she has her phone like propped up high. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
she's watching some 9/11 documentary, I guess. And then I'm like watching it. I'm like, there's a lot of like, 9/11 stuff, like George W. Bush. Like, is she watching? God, what was the Michael Moore one?
Yeah.
I'm like, is she watching? Because it's just so much of that footage.
Yeah.
And then I'm realizing that this is going on the entire flight. I'm like, oh no, she's just found some random show, whatever. That's all I'm thinking of. So the last episode of Succession gets done and I'm listening to the Let's Get Stupid podcast and someone brings up, have you seen this Osama bin Laden documentary on Netflix? And I'm like, that's what she was watching.
Yeah, that is what she was watching.
We get off the plane.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-law goes, on the plane, I was watching this Osama bin Laden documentary. I'm like, you too, huh? So like, there's all these people. I've never heard of this. And now the person in front of me was watching it. The podcast I was listening to talked about it. I get off the plane. You talked about it. I've never heard of it. And in an hour, I see 3 people being subjected to it.
So you haven't watched it yet? Then?
No, I have not watched it. But you have apparently then?
Yeah, I watched it and it's good.
It actually is good. I'd never even heard of it. Okay. I just heard it existed. I never heard of it.
I mean, I really enjoyed it, I guess, myself. And my wife liked it too, and she doesn't like television. It was an act of God that I got her to even watch it.
What is the synopsis? I mean, is it just about how they found Osama bin Laden? Is that?
Yeah, it follows like basically hunting Osama bin Laden. I mean, like what they were doing, what the Al-Qaeda was doing, and then just like the CIA. It follows a lot of CIA employees of like their and also following George Bush and then following Obama during their interactions and like their plans and what went well, what went wrong, and then like at the end following the SEAL team and some of those guys. And like pretty crazy stuff. It's funny because that stuff I'm like at the time. I'm not talking about 9/11 when I'm saying this. Of course, I cared about that, but like a lot of that other stuff after, I didn't really care about any of it.
Oh yeah, it just felt like the world had checked out, and then all of a sudden, like one day, the news reports are Osama bin Laden's dead, and it's like, okay, I guess that's done.
And what's really interesting to me, because I didn't even really pay attention to much at the time, but it's funny to say spoil because this is a factual thing that happened. It's like I should not like I'm spoiling, but in the sense that a lot of us didn't really pay that close of attention at the time, so you don't really know the details. So I won't spoil some of the details for people that are going to watch it. But one of the kingpins of the operation that ultimately was really important to them finding Osama bin Laden, he was Kuwaiti, and they're going through the documentary and they're showing B-roll of Kuwait City and stuff, and they're like, and it all follows a timeline. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they go forward and back in the timeline, but it all follows. So there's a lot. They're giving you a lot of months and dates all the time, and they're like, October 2010, this guy from Kuwait showing the Kuwait B-roll, and I'm like, I was there.
Oh, really?
Like, I was in Kuwait City in like that month. I specifically know that I was, and just like a few things where I'm like, oh, I was in that country, in that war, like at that point.
I wasn't watching that on TV. I was there.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I still didn't even really understand what was going on.
Right. That's actually kind of the funniest part of the whole thing.
Yes,
like,
and it still was
I got
irrelevant.
A basketball tournament to play.
So it's still like, I was like, you're just a guy doing your job.
Yeah.
So you're like, don't really care when you're 20 years old either,
I mean, that is kind of the, I don't even know what the right word is. Funny, interesting, unusual perspective is that sometimes I think people assume that because someone's in the armed forces that they're like have the inside scoop on what's going on. And a lot of times it's like no,
most of the people don't.
Sometimes people just needed like college paid for, or like they needed something to straighten their life out.
They just were like, hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, they're
sign
just
me up. Like there was no thought.
Just doing it like, yep. Yeah, they don't have like any greater like geopolitical knowledge than like, anyone else.
I mean, most don't. Like the masses don't. Right. There are some that do and some that are in levels of intelligence that they know stuff, but like most people don't. But I just thought it was really good. I won't dwell on it anymore.
How many episodes is it?
I don't even know. I just watched them all, so it was like 3, I think.
Oh, okay. It's not like a 10 episode thing.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think it's maybe like 3.
Okay.
The craziest part, though, like with Barack Obama as the president, the depiction of what that, like the actual day that they sent the team in there to where they were pretty sure where he was, and like the whole operation with SEAL Team 6, where I'm like, oh, that was just like out of a movie where the president is sitting in that room with all those people and they're like,
like waiting to hear what's going to go down. Like
they're like talking to the general that's in country, that's running the operation.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that is like that is a movie, like a fictional movie that you would watch of the way that it plays out. I'm like, that's actually what that's
where the
like
communications has taken place and all the most important people are
all there like
together
watching it, and it's extremely high tension. And like, I'm like, wow, that's pretty wild, and I'm like, well, I suppose it is like that, but
it's got to happen once in a while, I suppose. Yeah.
The one other line I really enjoyed that's kind of along those lines is I think it was the head of the CIA at that point in time needed something done. And he said it somewhat tongue in cheek, but also just like maybe slightly seriously at one point in time. He said, well, it seems like it's something I know I've seen CIA do this in a movie before, or it's like, I know you can do, like, I'm sure I've seen this happen in a movie. Like, we have to be able to make it happen too, like where he's just like saying if it can happen in a movie, we have to figure out how to do it too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that is interesting.
So yeah, check that out if you're into that sort of thing.
One final thing before I forget here since we're talking TV right now, don't know if you're aware of this, but there is a new season of The Rehearsal with Nathan Fielder.
Oh, no.
And we actually tried to start
What's that on now?
That's on HBO.
Okay.
And we actually tried to start it, but and I don't know if you remember, season 1 of The Rehearsal was about him. He builds that fake house where he wants to like experience.
Was it a woman with a kid or something?
Yeah, he wants
like
to experience what it's like to be a parent or whatever. So like he speed runs, a childhood where for like 3 days he has a 1-year-old and then a wife, and then for 3 days he has a 2-year-old and a new wife. Like, and it just goes, and then eventually he's like getting in fake fights with his teenager and all that stuff.
Yes.
I think doesn't even his teenager die of a drug overdose or something?
There was something.
It gets like
that,
like that's what he wanted to experience. That was the crazy part. But for this one, the synopsis is actually I can't even hardly say, because sort of the point of it is it's talking about plane crashes. He's looking at plane crash data, and he finds that a lot of times planes crash because the pilot is not taking feedback or advice from the co-pilot or whatever their official name is.
Yep.
And so he's trying to like recreate these situations where the planes are crashing. And this happens like 5 minutes into the thing. This is right before we're leaving for Florida. And my wife's like, I don't really want to watch a bunch of videos about planes crashing before we go on vacation. So
that makes sense.
I had to call it quits on there, but I'm very excited to start that one back up.
Yeah.
Because he's just so awkward and weird. And it's just amazing. Just
as
even
awkward as it.
Just even in the first few minutes, I'm like, oh God, I love this. This is so good.
Okay. Yeah. I got to put that on my list too. See if I have HBO even at this point. Can't even tell. Nobody knows.
You just click the box and the pictures come
Tells
on.
you if you get it or not. Yeah. All right. I think this week I want to let everyone know one more time to become a Sporty member before we have that big line in the sand coming. Watch out for our drop coming up. We believe it's this week. If it's not this week, it's the next, and it is a big one. We'd love to see you support that in any way possible. And the other thing is our YouTube channel. We haven't mentioned it this episode, but check out our YouTube channel. New video along with the podcast every week. There's also the new YouTube video every week, and we've been doing a lot of gym tours. The one that published this last week was Big Kyle Kaizen DIY Gym, his gym tour out there in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's a great video. That is an awesome gym tour. This next week, the one that comes out the one that'll be out by the time this is published is we're in Kyle's gym again for one more weekend. You go through his Temple of Gains multi-flight.
Yes, go through it very
Selectorized.
thoroughly. No stone left unturned.
And I haven't watched that one yet, so I'm excited to watch that one on the Temple of Gains piece. And then we got a whole bunch more gym tours coming out after that. Anyone else that makes gym tours for YouTube is not as good as us at it. Ours are the best. And if we don't have the most, we will at some point in time, probably fairly soon. Show me someone that has more of them, first of all.
Right. I have a question. This might be just a whole nother topic. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, you can decide if we talk about this or not.
Oh, yeah.
In Coop's latest video, Garage Gym Reviews video, he's talking about, I can't even remember if it's equipment he's most excited for or best equipment of the year so far, but he sneaks in a plug for his new YouTube channel. He has a new YouTube channel, and it was like Budget Coop or something. And the whole point of the YouTube channel is going to be like budget equipment reviews. And that's a very weird concept to me because budget is so subjective. So subjective. Like, I don't even know. To me, I'm like, where do you even draw the line? Like, how do you draw the line on that? Maybe he has it figured out. Maybe if I watch, it only has one video right now. Maybe if I watch it, my questions would be answered. But I'm like, okay, I guess before you look at benches, do you say, well, budget is anything under $300? Or is it this sliding tier? Because then you're just right back to having a review channel again. Do you get what I'm saying?
So is it not a review? Is it a review channel? It's just reviewing budget equipment?
It's here, I'll find it right now.
Because here's my question.
It's called Budget Gym Co-op, but co-op spells coop. So like Budget Gym Coop. He's trying to be clever there. His first video. Well, actually, the YouTube title description is Budget Gym Co-op is Coop from Garage Gym Review's latest creation to help home gym owners build epic gyms on a budget. And the first and only video is the best budget home gym equipment for 2025. Like, how? Maybe if I watch it, I have not watched the video yet. But I'm like, where do you draw the line here? Like, if we're talking adjustable dumbbells, what's the line on what's budget and what's not budget, Maybe this is a bigger topic for next week. I don't know. But that was just immediately what stood out to me is budget to everyone means something wildly different. But like, whether you want to admit it or not, that is a fact. No one, when you say budget, does that word mean the same thing to everyone?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around more broadly, why is it a separate channel?
Well, and then that's what made me thinking. I don't
understand.
I was wondering, does this channel have some autonomy away from Pillar 4 or whatever?
That's in which case I understand the justification of that. If it doesn't, I'm just wondering why another channel. It's just a subsection of your channel that already exists.
See, and already, okay, so I just clicked on it right now. I would say I don't think this has any. I think this is made by the same people. Like, it has the same editing effect and the same look as all of his Garage Gym Review videos. So it's pretty clearly shot and edited by, because I thought, maybe this would be like a stripped down Coop where it's like, nope, he's setting it up on a tripod. I get the
point of that then. That actually makes a lot of, I actually could be like, I might like this better. This might be more, I'm like, you just kind of went back to what you used to do. And
but no, this one, you open it up, it's the exact same production value and everything. Actually, he's trying to do a spoof on like the home improvement intro on here. Yeah, but he has it has the same production quality, like the same style, which is super professional.
Yeah.
And then he's doing the same thing where he's sitting at the table talking with his same podcast microphone too.
I'm sure there's a strategy behind it, but I guess I don't fully understand the strategy of starting the additional channel from scratch. That's also a YouTube channel. That's also just a subdivided version.
Unless it was just like, hey, we can't, like, it actually hurts the YouTube channel to do more than 2 videos a week. So like, this is just a way for us to make more than 2 videos a week. Because, like, they review budget stuff all the time on the main channel. Like, they're not leaving budget stuff out.
No, not at all. That's why I guess I just don't understand.
And honestly,
a
lot of the budget stuff is just DIY stuff anyways,
Right.
And you don't make affiliate money off of that. So that's, Yeah, I was confused on the topic of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Annoying part, though. Most annoying part, first day, 5,600 subscribers. Some of us, I remember back when some of us had to work for that number. We just didn't get 5,600 subscribers.
claw and friggin' do everything in our power to get.
We had to go on flights all across the country. We had to make relationships and shake. We had to put ones in the old vice.
We had to shake babies.
We had to shake babies and kiss hands and do all that. We didn't just start a new channel and get 5,000 subscribers and instantly have affiliates with 50 different programs right off the bat. Some of us had to build this step by step. Nothing given.
That being said, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are getting closer and closer to 10,000 YouTube subs, so it'll be great to see that go over 10K. Also, leave us an Apple Podcast review. We are at 595. Last I checked, we have 595 5-star Apple Podcast reviews. We are so close to 600. We have broken 500 Spotify 5-star reviews, so we're above 500 on those. We just need a couple last of you to steal your wife's phones. Maybe in the past you thought I was joking about this. I'm not joking. Steal your wife or girlfriend's phone, or a roommate. If you don't have a wife or girlfriend, but you have a roommate, borrow their phone. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Bada bing, bada boom. We're over 600.
Just like that. It was almost too easy to get there.
Like taking candy from a baby and then shaking it.
Might start a second channel just to get 600 reviews again because it's so easy.
Here's what I'll tell you. We say what you want about Massenomics, but we will not up and start a new YouTube channel on you. We're just going to stick with the one YouTube channel. We just want you to subscribe to that one. And we're not going to make a whole separate YouTube channel for our gym tours.
Or our
You're
podcast.
going to get the gym tours and the podcast all
reviews.
together.
It's all in one.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop.
Or a separate YouTube channel for a different type of fitness equipment.
We're
it's
gonna
all
do
there. What you see is what you get.
We're going to do a separate YouTube channel that's only reviews of moderately priced gym equipment.
Well,
like,
but
not the most expensive stuff.
That
not
sounds
the
comical,
stuff.
but it's the same concept. You know, like
oh, it's exactly the same thing. It's just picking a different segment
or,
on the
right, or it's the same thing. Like, no, I'm starting a new channel that only reviews ultra high end equipment.
Right,
like,
right. It's like, okay, why is it a separate channel of just that?
Because it's interesting on the bottom. I mean, this could have just been a whole topic for next week, but on the bottom of the YouTube video in the description, after there's the 30 affiliate links, it's copyright 2025 budget gym co-op. And so then I Google budget gym co-op, and what comes up is the YouTube channel. And then like the second link is a garage gym reviews link on the website of best budget home gym equipment of 2025. And I'm like, you guys are already doing this. Like, so why is there a second channel for this? I don't get it.
Don't even get me started on the slap in the face to those of us that are actually co-op guys. It's kind of makes a mockery of real cooperatives. That I am a real co-op
that have to
man,
serve actual members and have bylaws.
Yeah, it's actually customer owned cooperative guy over here. So don't just put the name in the title.
Yeah, we take co-op seriously around here. It's not just a name.
Co-ops are not just jokes in my neck of the woods.
No.
So we used to be a proper freaking country where co-op meant something, where there was patronage.
Exactly.
Make sure to check out juggernautai.app. It's the training that Tommy and I both use. You know, we both use it. So we are telling you the truth when we tell you that we want you to use it as well.
Special announcement. The back is on the up and up. Things are coming around.
So it's good news then.
Things are getting better.
Okay.
I'm still not jumping the gun here, but things
but
are... After I got 3 days removed from that plane ride, and it was like 2 days ago, I had the single biggest day of improvement I've ever had in my life. I went from starting the day in pain to at the end of the day being like, I think I'm totally fine. And I know that's not how it works, but that's what my brain was telling me. So we're coming around.
So, and still progressive since then.
Oh, yeah. We're coming around.
Or not regressive since
then.
No,
not regressive. That's the important part.
Yeah. And I am on my second week of being back on Juggernaut AI, and nothing but good things to say so far. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying being back on Juggernaut, inputting my lifts in there, using the feedback with the RPE that you input for each lift. The tracking, I've always liked the tracking element of it, and I continue to like that. And to be able to look back on what you performed on that exercise the last time you did it, I Sometimes I forget how nice and convenient that is just to be able to check that really quick when you forget.
The history is nice, especially
the history is clutch.
Especially when you need to like quickly go back and be like, okay, what was I squatting 6 months ago? And just to have that there.
Yep.
Oh, it's nice.
History is clutch. Check out that and all the other features on JuggernautsAI.app. Log on through your web browser. That's where you use discount code Massenomics. You can't use our discount code in the app. You have to go through the browser. Massenomics saves you 10% for the lifetime of that membership. Makes it about $30 a month, which is extremely affordable. Thank you, Juggernaut AI.
This episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Right now, the sale might be done by the time you're hearing this, but Texas Power Bars has been running a Memorial Day sale with up to $80 off their bars. And if you know Texas Power Bars, you know $80 is some pretty significant savings when you're talking about some high-quality icons like the original Texas Power Bar, the Texas Deadlift Bar, the Texas Squat Bar, the 29mm Texas Power Bar, all just essentials, like damn near industry standard equipment at this point that you would benefit from having in your home gym or your commercial gym or anywhere you lift. Get a Texas Power Bar. You will not regret it. And I don't know, shoot them an email. Tell them Massenomics sent you. Shoot them a DM, something like that. Thank you, Texas Power Bars.
Thanks, Texas Power Bars. Anything else this week, Tommy, or should we?
I mean, I could go. We got more stuff, but it's getting late.
We got to save something for episode 479. Oh, you know what's special about that one? We'll talk about that next week.
Stay tuned.
All right, Tommy, where do they find you at?
At Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Bear. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.